Thank you so much. The kids can stay in their chairs because I know I always say that the stories are for grown-ups and for kids, and they really, really are. But this one, I think, really speaks to everybody of all ages. It's one of my favorite little parables or stories. This particular version of the tale of the journeying stream was saved from Awad Afifi the Tunisian, and it was printed in Tales of the Dervishes by Idres Shah in 1970. But the version that's repeated here is from the 1800s. A stream in its course from far-off mountains, passing through every kind and description of countryside, at last reached the sands of the desert. Just as it had crossed every other barrier, the stream tried to cross this one, but found that as fast as it ran into the sand, its waters just disappeared. It was convinced, however, that its destiny was to cross this desert, and yet there was no way. And now a hidden voice coming from the desert itself whispered, "The wind crosses the desert, and so can the stream." Well, the stream objected that it was dashing itself against the sand and only getting absorbed. The wind could fly, and that is why it can cross a desert. By hurtling in your own accustomed way, you cannot get across. You will either disappear or become a marsh. You must allow the wind to carry you over to your destination. But how can this happen? By allowing you to be absorbed. You have to allow yourself to be absorbed in the wind. Well, this idea was not acceptable to the stream. After all, it had never been absorbed before. It didn't want to lose its individuality. And once having lost it, how was the stream to know if it could ever be regained? "The wind," said the sand, "performs this function. It takes up water, carries it over the desert, and then lets it fall again. Falling as rain, the water again becomes a river." Well, how can I know that that is true? It is true, and if you do not believe it, you cannot become more than a quagmire, and even that might take many, many years. And it certainly is not the same as a stream. But can I not remain the same stream I am today? You cannot remain the same in either case, the whisper said. Your essential part is carried away and forms a stream again. You are called what you are even today because you do not know which part of you is the essential one. When it heard this, echoes began to arise in the thoughts of the stream. Dimly, it remembered a state in which it, or some part of it, had been held in the arms of a wind. It also remembered, or did it, that this was the real thing, not necessarily the obvious thing to do. And the stream raised its vapor into the welcoming arms of the wind, which gently and easily bore it upward and along, letting it fall softly as soon as they reached the roof of a mountain many, many miles away. And because it had its doubts, the stream was able to remember and record more strongly in its mind the details of the experience. The stream reflected, "Yes, now I have learned my true identity."